Awesome. So let's go over it right now. So like I was saying, I think Tahm is definitely the champion to play if you want to just climb quicker.
Okay.
It's definitely really big. Now, this is a first big mistake, right? Like, already, we're not considering the matchup, right? So, Teemo is one of the harder matchups for Tahm Kench,
Okay.
if he plays it bad. Now, overall, it doesn't really matter. Like, you can still play it well. There is some, like, really very hard champs, like Fiora, Heimerdinger is a big one, Kennen. But overall, there is still stuff that you can do against him. Teemo is one of the harder ones, but not the hardest. What you have to
hmm
do is you have to basically preserve your HP as much as possible in the early game, and then when he pushes in, that's when you look to just jump on him. And this is what we tried to do in this game. We were waiting for him to push
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then we are jumping on him. And this is kind of how you play it, because one thing that you're trying to do is you're trying to initiate what's called a long lane. So right here, the lane is just as long for him as it is for you. So,
Yeah.
there's no real room. Whereas if he's pushed in here, then the lane for him is significantly longer than it is for you. And this is obviously what we did throughout the game, but we're going to go over it a little bit more now so that we can explain why we did that in a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more detail when you're not, playing. So yeah, we're trying to create this long lane, and yeah, so it's a hard matchup, but in these elos it won't really matter as much.
Okay.
And its team fighting is really bad. In general, their team fighting is pretty bad this game. They've got Heimerdinger and a Timo, but it's I think so. Here, this wave is pulling in, so we don't really need to do too much because it's always going to come into us, right? So we're getting these farm. And now it's still going to pull into us because he's got these two extra casters. So you're always looking for additional minions
Yeah.
to the wave before. So that's really, really big. So yeah, this was okay. Now there is sometimes where you're using your Q where you can just auto, like for example this minion that we just went over there, like it was in auto range and we still Q it. Like here, see, this auto on this minion doesn't achieve anything. We're not going to get anything out of that auto. This wave is going to come into us no matter what. Now when it
Okay.
comes to top lane and especially tanks, you're playing around slow pushes. So in top lane it's a long lane. In bot
Yeah.
lane, it's the same length, but you have two champs there, so you have two people to push it out. In top, not so much. So you're looking for multiple things. You're looking for A, to get the wave back and do things with it, or B, when the wave is back and it's not frozen, it'll slow push in, and that's when you look to get as big of a slow push as possible and then fight. Now, we did a very, very good example of this, which obviously I know a lot of this game I was kind of telling you, okay, do this, do that, like you want to do
Yeah,
this
yeah.
here, but we're gonna, go over why those kind of things were good. So here, so this is another kind of thing, like you in these situations, this is always going to come into tower. You don't really want to hit them because if you hit them, it's much harder to farm. So all you want to do is you want to let them come and then farm them safely on the tower. So coming to say here so that you're in blind rage is really bad, right? Because you're always just going to wait. So even if you come back and sit by here on tower, it's completely fine. Like you can just do that because that's exactly what's going to happen anyway, right? So it's kind of like you're not going to delay the inevitable.
Yeah.
So yeah. So here, this was completely fine. Again, quick trivia. How many autos is it to kill a cannon from the tower? We did cover this when you were playing.
8.
8, yes. So what you want to do? Nailed it. Jeez. So what you want to do is wait when it's full HP, 7 autos from the tower, and then just one on it, and it's really, really
Okay,
good.
yeah. Because that's like the one. That's kind of a one thing that I sort of struggle with a bit is canon. Sometimes, sometimes I underestimate. Sometimes I
Yeah.
overestimate.
Yeah, so the seventh, they really look like they're about to thingy. But here, this was fine. We could have got those minions, but, we did get his flash, which is very, very important. So it's okay. Now, one thing we could have done is instantly use W. So when you're leveling up your abilities, how do you do it on your keyboard?
I do control W.
Okay. So what you want to do, Control W in these situations, level it up, and then just instantly release Control and just W instantly again.
Okay.
But it's fine. We got his flash, so that's good. Now, what do you think is another really big mistake that I? So right here, where is Timo?
On the other side of the lane,
Okay, but what's he doing?
he's backing up
How do you know?
because I can see him on his on the mini map.
But what's to say he's not doing something else? Who knows? The point I'm trying to make here is your camera control. You have to learn how to play it unlocked. It's
Okay. Yeah.
ridiculously important because right now, like say for in this lane, like what actionable information are you getting from this area?
Mm, not a lot.
Absolutely nothing. Now, say if you want to fight him, and this is one of the things that happens, and we'll find examples of it, is what you do is you get flustered because you're looking at him and you're like, okay, I'm going to go on him, and then you go to W, but your camera is on you, right? Now, what
Yeah.
happens is if your camera is in a good position, you'll know, okay, he's there. You'll W onto him, and then you can fight him all the way down here, right, without moving your camera. And then you can just work on nudging it. So you nudge it in the fights. You just nudge it,
Yeah.
nudge it, and then you play for that. So in these kind of situations, it's not just that. It's your eyes are kind of going all over the place. So I say this quite often, but if you're playing chess, what do you move?
My pieces.
Exactly. It's the exact same with League. Your champ is a piece. Your minions are little pawns that you use to, kind of sacrifice or kind of make plays, stuff like that. So exact same concept. Now what's also happening is your eyes are going all over the place because your entire screen is moving. It's like driving a car, and instead of turning left or right, your entire screen just moves. So it's making it much harder for you to actually play the game because everything's all over the place.
Mm.
But this is okay at this point. So there, what you also want to do is auto that minion and then Q him at the same time. Your abilities aren't the same cooldown as your autos, so in that situation, actually it wasn't up, my bad, but it's a good general rule of thumb. So right here, right, this cannon is super strong, and he doesn't have a cannon, so this wave is already pushing him very hard, and there's another wave coming up, so you don't want to allow him to do anything. But what do you think you could have done in this situation?
W'd onto him.
Yeah, get in the corner here and then W onto him, push him away, do some spicy stuff, see if we can do anything. But overall, yeah, there's no real reason to back there just yet, because if Shyvana comes, we can just play within the minion wave, and the amount of damage that's in that wave right there, it's basically an extra champion, so we end up in a position where we're basically 1v2, 2v2, even though we're only one, which in the early game is really effective. You'll see it's very big. So now, because we crashed that wave in, it means that this one is coming back into us now, which is very good for us. It's kind of what we want.
Mm.
So we're just going to skip through. So here, again, the wave is pulling in. So remember we were saying about that push and pull.
Yeah.
So to break it down, I mean, I do have a video on my YouTube. You can always just watch it in more detail. But if the wave is pushing in, we go aggressive. And we try and fight around it because we've got a bigger wave. If it's pulling in, and then we play defensive, and we let it come in, and then we just farm it safely, and then we wait for it to start pushing again, then go aggro. We just keep doing this over and over and over, and it seems boring, but it's in low elo, they just don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they'll never freeze. Ever. So here, see, so this was the first kind of indicator that you just haven't played Tahm enough, because as we can see here, he is way too far up in the wave. We're not looking to all in him here because there's a huge wave, but what we're looking to do is get some poke off on him, which is really handy. Now, what could also happen, that's fine, but so this is okay. And then we did get what we could have done as well is we could have also just farmed 1 or 2 minions to get 6, and then as the minion's about to die, that's when we go in, right? So see here, we get 1, we get 2, so we wait for that next one to drop, and then on this one, as soon as that drops, we jump on it.
Yeah, okay.
Then what we basically do is, because he's pushed up into this area so far, we jump on him, we get our stacks, and then we drag him into the tower. And then we spit him into the tower, and he'll just die. So this is the thing. You're basically punishing these really bad positional plays.
I auto attack.
Yeah, it's fine. And here, see, so this is where, now what we do is we stop autoing the minion. So why do you think we do that?
So we can try and pull off a freeze.
No, so this won't freeze.
Okay. Oh, to
But
restart a slow push then.
yeah, exactly. So now we're starting the slow push, so that if he walks up, he dies. Which again, like we already said, you're initiated this really long lane. So as soon as we see him now, he dies, and that's just what we're looking for. But yeah, you pull that in there, reset aggro, which is good. Okay, and now, so see how our wave is building? What do you think is going to happen if he dies while this wave is building up?
He's going to lose so much gold.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, like I said, this kind of the power of this sort of slow push, in the fact that, yeah, so see, and look how far he walks up. He just griefs. So look at that. He's way out of his range. So here we just go. So we get the cannon, which is great. And now we've got the Q. Now, what do you think you want to do as soon as you land the Q? Since it's such a huge slow.
Just walk at him.
No.
Oh.
So, how are we going to get on top of him? How do we get on top of Teemo?
I don't want to say flash, but...
No. So, your Q is such a huge slow that what you always want to look to do is get the Q into the W.
Oh, so QW immediately.
Yeah, so we've Q'd him. He's slowed significantly now. We just W directly on top of him, and we're going to get the knock up as well, which then means we can get our third hit, and that means we can get our ultimate off, right?
Yeah, okay, alright.
Because right now, we only got a W because he played it bad. And then we get it. Okay, nice. We don't even need to ult him here. We can just run him down. And see, and there we go, perfect. Now, see, because we built this previous slow push, now we can push all of this in, and he loses not only his life there, but he loses all of these minions, and then the next wave probably as well. And it also means that we can push pretty hard, right? So, again, we wait until the cannon focuses one of our melees, and then we W the backline, just because it's AoE. The backline does the most damage. The sooner we kill that backline off, the less damage our wave is going to take, which means the more the tower does. So here, we're just going for the one plate because we want to save tempo. These ones, don't take too long to kill. And yeah, so we just instantly reset, and that's completely fine. So here, this was, unfortunately, I completely forgot you had boots. But yeah, we can go the Bammies. The problem why Bammies can be a little bit risky sometimes is because when we're playing against something like Teemo, we're waiting for him to push the wave in, right? So it's kind of like we can never stand anywhere near the wave because we're going to slowly burn it and it's slowly going to tick out,
Yeah.
So that's why it can be a little bit rough sometimes, but in this situation it's completely fine. But see how the wave has come in now? So we could just focus it a little bit, and then so see there, that was another opportunity because we have ult available. So like there, that's where you're like okay, he's in the position I want him now. I'm just gonna wait for him to walk up too far, and then just W.
Okay.
So like here, insta W, knock him up, get your ultimate off.
Just being way more aggro.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, this does somewhat come with time as well. Like I said before, because you haven't played this champion enough. And this is the thing, right? Like, one of the big things with Tahm is there's still mechanical depth to him, right? And it's like you don't have to play a super like mechanically intensive champion to make those big plays. I mean, I literally used to play like pro, and I'd play Ramos more than anything. And see you queued here into the W, so it got the knock up like guaranteed.
Yeah.
But no, I play Ramos, and I played in like the UK scene, and my Ramos was banned every single time. And was it because Ramos was the best champ? Probably not. It was because he was annoying. People don't want to play into that, and that's what Tahm Kench kind of does. People don't want to play into Tahm Kench, so as soon as they realize that you're Tahm Kench top, they're like, oh god, this is going to be hell. And then all of a sudden you've already got mental advantage, and you just win like that. So here, obviously, Shyvana does come in, but it really doesn't matter. So you should have just ulted her, spat her this way, killed her, and then killed Teemo.
Oh, probably me just being bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're somewhat new to the champion. Like, don't worry too much about it. You still killed the Teemo. He's your laner. That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Here, you just keep spamming Qs in the bush because you can't see him. And that's fine. And then he dies. And then again, he loses a cannon, which is a lot of gold. And you're slowly just winning. Now, again, if there's a cannon, you can get 2 plates because your demolish will almost get 1, and this cannon will take 8 hits from the tower. So that means you'll be able to get 2 plates and then reset and get back in a good time. Purely because this cannon exists. So see, you've just got 2 plates, and the cannon's only just died. So now this wave is exactly the same as it was before. But yeah, and now we just get out. Nice, come back. We get a really good back time of this one. So this was just a super good time to back as well. And this is why we don't want to oversave for plates, right? Because we could oversave for the plates there and then miss this really good back timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, we're just playing for... now, obviously, we've got Frostfire now, so it's a little bit hard to freeze, but it's okay. We can still run him down. I think that's what happened here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I went down mid lane.
Yeah. And again,
But I had a sneaking suspicion that
Yeah.
Shyvana on...
So yeah, so here you couldn't W after the Q because he was on a shrine and he had W boost. So this was good that you didn't hit him. And then we just kill Teemo. You basically just kill whoever you can get hold of. There we go, easy. This again, W was a little bit scuffed, but you know, we still got him. And it's because, you know, you're fighting against double mage. So when we say like kill him, it's because you're against double mage champions, you know. So you've built a ton of magic resist.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So here we don't. So this was you hesitate too much. You've just killed both solo lanes. They're gonna have to get back, and Shyvana's bot side. So we can go for it, you know, like especially again because there's a cannon, which means.
Can get double plating.
Exactly, which double plate at this point is the entire tower for you, which is obviously very, very good. And then you see Heimer bot, so you know you can just keep going, and then it's fine. As soon as you like I said, you just W as soon as Teemo shows. Now demonic embrace again, it's only really an item you can go when you're snowballing, but again it procs on the frostfire. It's extremely good. Tahm Kenchi's AP scalings really aren't that bad, especially his Q. His Q is like 70% AP scaling, and that's like your bread and butter ability. It's on like 2-second cooldown. So you can just keep spamming it over and over and over, and it's really good. And now here, see, he again is way too overextended, so you just run him down. Now, have you ever watched Formula 1?
Yes, take the racing lines.
Okay, yes, exactly. So we didn't do it quite as much. So here we could have like done a little bit more, and here a little bit more, which would have helped. Would have also then forced him to go into here, and then we can kill him there anyway.
Okay.
So this is fine. We just melt him at this point. And again, so now Teemo can't stop you alone. So now he needs other people to come and stop you. So if you just keep... See, he's already tilted as well. So now if you just keep pushing, he's going to all of a sudden send the Shyvana here. You're going to kill her. And then they're going to send the Lux here. You kill her too. Unfortunately, the Heimer was a little bit too strong throughout all of the game because he got Void Staff very early, I think. But see, you just kill her easy. So another thing you want to do as well is when you're doing damage, again, your autos are on... You need to see your autos as like having their own cooldown, right? So what you want to do is in between your auto attacks, you want to weave in abilities. So you want to say get a basic attack and then Q and then get another basic attack. Instead, what you're doing right now is like even when you spit her out, see, you're just instantly queuing. So you just queue like that, and you know it takes a little bit of time. And see, if we would have got it, then perfect, because if we would have auto-queued, we would have survived a little bit longer, and then we can go in on him. So here what you want to do is Q into W, which I think would have saved your life. Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, I think so as well, because the minion wave was attacking him as well.
Exactly. And he's very behind, and we have a very large amount of magic resist. Again, we get Demonic Embrace now. Very, very good for us. We get 550 gold for tier 2, and this is why split pushing is so big. So... Now we walk in the jungle, and again, like we just kind of pop off. Again, we managed to get this guy's crown, which is very nice. But he does have a significant amount of damage, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
you know at the start when you said Teemo and I think it was a hard match.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? So even this is what I mean in these elos. Even say a Timo is one of the harder matchups for Heimer. Is very unplayable for Tahm. Timo is one of the harder matchups, not impossible, but definitely harder. But in silver, it doesn't matter, you know. Like
Yeah.
it won't matter whatsoever if it's a good matchup or a bad matchup, as long as you play correctly, how you should, you know. So here we have a lot of gold. But again, we could go and split tier 2 bot, but at the end of the day, we also want to get tier 3 top. And again, Timo is the only one coming here right now, so we can just keep killing him. So here, this, you know, he just wasn't going to walk that way, you know.
Mm.
So here, we just kept pushing, which is good. And then I think, who showed up? Was it Heimer? So here, be careful. Wait until the tower is fully hit, because, you know, that was a lot of auto time on the tower that we didn't have.
Oh, it was loads.
Oh, so yeah, this was here. So what we should look to do here is if we land everything, so we just walk up, auto, Q, auto. Again, the W here was what put you in danger. So you'd already got her flash. So auto, Q, auto, you know, alt, and then kill her that way. Like, by using W there, you just give them the ability to kind of all get on you. And, you know, we're always going to live, so you may as well at least try to do some damage. You waste some time. But we also didn't E there, but you would have died 100% anyway.
Yeah.
So it was just that kind of, again, just kind of those mechanical issues just arising again. Just because, you know, we could have just done like a massive chunk on the Lux and then backed away. Or used that W to even escape, you know. And, you know, we would have got out, we would have got that tower, and then that's great. And now we start pushing these, because, again, there's another 550 gold. Just sat there waiting for us to claim. So here, I mean, this was okay, I guess. But, so, put the control ward down. Don't bother with the ward yet, because you need the pressure, and you need to lead these minion waves in. So just leave the ward for now. It's already turned off. You're not going to benefit whatsoever by taking it.
Okay.
Like, and see, now Timo gets a chance to trim the wave off when he shouldn't have, really.
Okay.
So here we did get quite a bit, but like she died.
I forgot my gargoyles
Yeah,
existed.
I was gonna say you got gargoyles available. So what you want to do is you want to gargoyles before you use the E-shield, and then just play like that.
I think the Timo also built Shadow Flame. One of them built Shadow Flame.
Yeah, but that's base. They need void stuff against you, to be honest. Like Shadow Flame's pretty bad against you here, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Then.
But yeah. That's fine. Again, we're just looking to push this out. There's no tower here as well, so any minions we force up here will hit. But one of the things here is that we're not actually looking over the fights. So even with me there, I can't tell you if it's good or bad to go to that fight because we're not looking at it, right? So this is another thing. Like when you're autoing these minions, you don't need to do anything except auto them. So while you're autoing them, just look over, use your F keys to look over the other kind of sections, and then just go from there.
Okay.
So like here, Heimerdinger does stop you, but so see, for example there, the way he walked up, you have to be willing to just jump on him, you know? So see how he walks up all this way? Just W him. Just W directly onto him. If you can W onto him and kill him here, you get the inhib. But because we were way too hesitant, we didn't really get anything, and they were allowed to get a lot.
Yeah.
So just like it's gonna take a little bit of you're gonna make plays that are gonna end the game and you're gonna lose, but you need to be able to understand why that was a bad play and obviously play on that. Like for example here at this point you can't really kill him because he's just running away, and then he gets his ult turret down because he's not CC'd, and then he does a massive amount of damage. I think he's got Void Staff yet, so he actually went Void Staff very early, which is why he does so much damage to you and why you can't really side against him. Again, he's a ridiculously big counter to Tahm because you rely on walking up and hitting people, and he is an anti-walk up and hit people champion, basically. So at this point, like, we're level 16, we're very strong, we just have to come and show. So again, here we miss that Q, which mechanical error, but we do jump on her and kill her. But see how easy we kill her? Like, obviously Timo again is annoying, but so again we missed the Q. Shyvana didn't actually throw that out, but
Yeah, I thought she was going to throw it earlier.
no, it's okay. But see, this amount of regen is incredibly good. Again, see, we kind of grief our W just a little bit there.
Mm.
But we are raid boss against this Hyman again. We managed to get his crown, and then he dies. And we actually remembered our gargoyles.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't me screaming gargoyles over and over at you.
No.
Yeah, it's just instant improvement. Like, it's just, it's too
It's
good.
not like I play Camille. No active items at all.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here we get this pushed out. Heimdallr shows again. But so here, like, especially with a battle on any other CC, as soon as you see that other CC go down, you need to instantly be like, okay, I'm gonna go. So here again, see how you're on unlocked camera. See how it really kind of messes with you a bit. Because here it's like, okay, this is great. Now we're looking over them. It's like, okay, great. Now who are we going on? Who are we using our W on? We can't see them, right? So here, if your camera's over here, you can go, okay, well, who am I going to look at? You can even tab just quickly to see who's fed. And then you go, okay, well, Varus is the target. Now, why do you think the Varus is the target here?
Because I have a load of AP, MR, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
He does AD damage.
Exactly. So he does a lot of magic damage too. But if you kill him off, you know, the rest of them, you can just tank them for 10 years and it's not going to matter. Aksham doing Aksham things. So here, just use the W to gain a bit of distance. Because, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you don't actually land it, you know. And to be honest, you could probably just tower dive her. Like,
yeah.
You have a ton of resistances.
It's just a thing that I'm, like, scared about.
I mean, don't worry too much. You're a huge tank. You've got 5,000 HP right now. Like, if you lose a little bit, it's fine. Because the thing is, you can always, obviously, throughout kind of like laning phase, and when you're kind of in big team fights, it's usually more beneficial to just use the E for a shield, especially because it takes so long for it to regen. And you have quite a lot of regen anyway, especially, you know, if we went, say, Spirit Visage. I don't think it was as good here, though. I think the items that we went were actually really good. But overall, like I said, you're kind of playing for using the shield rather than letting it regen because it's instant and it's huge. It's your entire health bar that you've lost. So, you know, it does decay quite quick, but that doesn't matter. Like, in that situation, obviously, we started a bar and just kind of get aggro, and then, we back out. But even now, look at the amount you're regenning. And you don't even have like anything like a warm box. You're just regenerating that much because I mean, you do have red buff that increases it quite a bit, but overall. So here, see, we just missed the Lux. Actually, no, we get the Lux, but we want the Varus, you know?
Yeah.
So we get the shield off, which is nice. Again, we're not really looking over the fight, but we just need to kind of leave. And, you know, we had to use our flash because we were just a little bit too greedy. We stayed a little bit too long. So here you just walk and get that extra gold so that you can finish your item and now you're full build. You just have to kind of go nuts. So here, so this was good. We managed to get him, knocked him up, okay. Unfortunately, Shyvana is on a bit of a wild one in this bit, but AP Shyvana. So we get the Lux, which is good. So now, what do you think you could have also done here?
Could have maybe W'd onto the Heimerdinger.
Potentially, yeah. Why do you think it would have been okay to W on top of him here?
Well, the whole entire enemy team's dead right now.
Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, 4 of them are dead.
If I kill him here,
then you can get
an
two
inhibitor.
Two inhibitors.
Yeah.
There's an open one top because of the split push that we did earlier. So this is kind of like we set ourselves up earlier into the game for this play, but then we didn't take the play, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we can kill him pretty easy. He does have Void and his big cannon, but we can still kill him there.
Mm.
So the Teemo is very annoying, but here we got the inhib, so we just leave. So why do you think it's okay for you to just dive this inhib?
Well, then we have 2 super minions going to their base.
Yeah, which means that you can keep making mistakes and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But obviously, also another thing, you always want to try and do this as much as possible. Just kind of use your W to get as far as you can. So like, for example, here, you go directly over. And then that also means that if there's somebody, say, walking by here, they're not going to actually see you. So you get a little bit of extra time, which that little bit of extra time can help a lot. But yeah, so here we just want to get this so that we have the 2 supers, and then use our gargoyles, etc. to just get out afterwards, you know? Which, you know, we do manage to do. So we W out, okay, great. Our Q is great for kiting, and again, they're all AP, so we can go nuts. And now we've just got that second inhib, we still get out. I think even though this W did look fancy, like, it still wasn't too hard.
I misclicked it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, it worked, but yeah, then we get...
I accidentally clicked on the map instead of where I wanted to go.
Yeah, but here, the bard is here, the download is here, you just go straight back.
Yeah.
Because if you kill Shiv here, you get the dragon, all good. And again, they're trying to push with 2 inhibs down. So here, so what do you think you should have done here?
Instead of
their base,
just split push bot lane maybe.
No. So this is important. This is very important.
Yeah.
So
but
just W on top of them. Just start a fight.
Yeah.
You've got
instead of walking away from the virus.
Yeah, exactly. You're a tank, and you've got anathemas on this virus. So you just jump on him, you kill him, and they're doomed. Like, they just all die. So this fight was okay, I suppose, for the longest part anyway. So here, to be honest, so what do you think the problem was here?
Probably me going back in, or me like flashing away, thinking that I needed to.
Yeah, so the flash wasn't needed. We did gargoyles and E while they were in bad. Ult, but what we could have done is we could have just W'd away instead of using flash, and then we could have walked back once we regened and potentially tried to do something. Because, you know, Elder is super important because they just win with it. But yeah, so overall, like I said, there's obviously a lot to break down. I'd say the main things to kind of take away is your camera control. That's super important. It's going to be a little awkward for 10-20 games, but after a while you will get used to it. The other big one is your just kind of confidence a bit in certain kind of situations. There's times where you're playing super aggressive when you should play a bit defensive, and there's times where you're playing a bit too defensive when you should play aggressive, right? I also think start just spamming Tahm. Like, even taking some of the concepts that we've discussed in this session and applying them consistently will get you to gold. Like, to be honest, like, easy. Yeah. Especially that push and pull rule that we spoke about. Again, there's another video on my YouTube about it, which goes into a bit more detail. But
spoiler alert! I watched the first one.
Oh, good stuff.
Because I wanted to learn about wave manipulation whilst playing Irelia.
Oh, okay, yeah. So apply some of that to Tahm. Like, this is the thing. These fundamental skills are things that you can apply to every champion, and Tahm is probably one of the most bullshit champs in the game. Like, to be honest, like. If Watley ever potentially looks over this, I'm sorry, but this champion sucks. Like, it's just too broken. Even though I beat him in a 1v1 as Rise. Even though I know Rise is such a hard counter that he can't play the game. But, you know, alas. So I think just focus on these things, see how it goes. And if you've got any questions or anything, just drop them by. I will. If not, then good luck, and I'll speak to you
Cheers, man.
in a bit, man. No worries. Bye.
Alright, yeah.